Hey guys, back again. Moderation is key. In life, you gotta balance everything out. Not just your eating style, your physical fitness. It also applies to social settings as well. Recently, I went on a trip with a good friend of mine for just 3 days, right? And you know, I've noticed that the longer you hang out with someone, it doesn't matter how much you get along with this person. It could be your wife, it could be your best friend, it could be your brother, it could be your sister, whatever. There will be fights because you see each other on an everyday basis. And on this trip, we were staying in a room and we see each other all the time. So we come up with plans. Majority of the time, you get along. But sometimes there are quarrels, right? And I realized that if I spent a week with anybody, with a friend, that particular friend, chances are quarrels would escalate. Maybe that's just the kind of person I am, I don't know. But I realized this, that the more you do something, right? The more you socialize with a certain person, the more available you are, the more time you spend with the person, there is a very high chance that you're going to get into fights or you're going to get tired of that person. You're going to get annoyed of that person. Not tired of that person, but annoyed of that person, right? And I guarantee that couples face this all the time. People who live together in the same house, in the same place, they deal with a lot of, arguments, right? And it all depends on how you deal with it. But this goes bigger than that, right? Like, you have to balance also time for yourself, because sometimes we may be a very social person. We spend time with our family, we spend time with our friends, we spend time with our coworkers. We do all these, we give away a lot of our time to people, but we rarely have time for ourselves to be alone because we're not used to it. And we may think that it could be a waste of time, but it's not. Being by yourself, having time for yourself, gives you time to regenerate, to reset the mind, to reflect on what happened, to be more grateful for what happened throughout the day. You hung out with a friend, go sit by yourself and appreciate it. If you're constantly going out there, talking, socializing with people, right? You will not have time for yourself. You will not have time to do the things you want to do, or you won't even have a clear vision. And I'm telling you this from experience, that this is how it is, right? Um, but some people could be different. I'm not sure, but I always try to make some time for myself, in order to regenerate and make time for other people. That's very important. And that also goes to dieting too, how much you eat. If you're eating too much junk food, you're eating outside food consistently all the time, you're gonna start gaining weight. You're gonna start having health problems. And you won't really appreciate the food that you're eating because you're always going out and eating that same shit all the time. And I feel like in this life, you gotta earn shit, earn that meal by working out for the whole week. Earn that fast food. Earn that time you're gonna spend with your loved ones. Earn the time that you're gonna go out traveling. Earn the time that you're gonna go to maybe go for a run. Earn it. You need to earn it. And the way to earn it is to have patience, right? And to also stay away from it for a while. Have you realized that if you abstain from eating for a long period of time, and when you actually eat that meal, you appreciate the food more? The food tastes a lot better. That's why, ask any person who has fasted. The first meal that they have is the most delicious meal in the world. Even when I fast for maybe even 8 to 12 hours, even if I do that, when I have that first meal, I appreciate food so much. I lived abroad recently for 4 years, and I came back recently to my home country, Canada. And I had my mother's cooking, and it was the most delicious food I have ever had in my life because I wasn't used to it. I didn't have it for so long, and when I ate it, I really appreciated it. It just affected me in such a way, like I was touched by it, right? But if you were to have it every single day, if you were to do these things every single day, You won't really be grateful for it. You'll take it for granted. So we all need to be able to have moderation in everything in our life. Not just one thing. It has to be in everything. Moderation. Limit how much time you spend with people. Limit how much junk you eat. Limit how much food you eat. Put a limit. It's just like on sleep. If you oversleep, if you sleep too much, you're gonna feel even more tired. But if you reduce the amount of sleep, keep it consistent, then that's even better. You're gonna feel more energy. It's the same with water. Water is good for you, but if you drink too much of it, it can be poisonous and you can die from it. It's the same thing. Everything requires moderation. It could even be physical fitness too. You can't just go to the fucking gym twice, 3 times a day for 7 days straight, 365 days a week, and expect to have the energy to go to the next day. No, you're gonna eventually feel sore. You may even get injured, right? That's just how it works. It goes with everything, even how you spend your money, bro. Just limit how much you spend. Don't always splurge. Don't always go out and buy shit just because it looks good, just because oh wow, there's a deal going on. This is how they get you. This is how the world gets you. This is how society gets you. They put all these deals out there, right? But there's so many deals: 50% off, 60% off, 70% off. Video games too online. You start buying the game, you start buying the game, you start buying the game, you start playing them, and then oh my god, there's another game that's on sale, and it's the game that I always wanted, so you buy it. But then you don't have time to play because you were also playing the game that you just recently bought that was on sale. You understand what I'm trying to say? It's crazy that in this life, everyone's just about abundance. Everyone just wants more, more, more. Everyone just goes crazy in everything that they do. Some people are just obsessed with partying. And then they end up in the hospital. Some people are obsessed with smoking weed. And then they're just unable to socialize, or they just get lazy, and then they're just complaining about the world, or they have mental issues. Some people overdo the gym, and then they get serious knee injuries, serious shoulder joint injuries, which unfortunately it's like a permanent thing where the workouts will not be the same anymore. There are some people who just love to have sex, so they go out and pursue sex with people all the time, and they have a sex addiction, right? And then they're unhappy with their life, and they feel like they don't have enough energy, or they feel like nobody loves them. All these things start happening when you do things in excess, right? We have to have discipline. We have to be able to step back and be like, no, wait, I'm good. I'm okay. I'll wait until I deserve this. And going back to the sex part, when you have intercourse with somebody, isn't it much better if you build a relationship with that person? When you get to know that person, when you start spending more time with them, getting to understand their personality, it builds up, right? It builds up to the climax point. But if you just go out there and seek prostitutes, you go to these sex brothels, and you just do your thing quick, you didn't earn it, bro. You did not earn it. You didn't deserve this. This is how the principle of our life should be, all of us. We should do things in moderation, bit by bit. It's the same thing with working as well. If you overwork, you're going to miss out on the more important things in life, like your family or your health. But if you were to balance it out, yes, maybe you won't make a lot of money, but you will have peace of mind. You will have more time to spend with your family. You will have more time to spend on working out. You'll have more time to spend to socialize, to do things that you enjoy. You gotta do everything in moderation, man. When I was younger, man, I used to just do an excess of everything. Excess of partying. Excess of going out and talking to girls and just spending majority of my time DMing girls trying to get dates. I used to even excessively go to the gym. I used to go to the gym 2-3 times a day because I thought that that's how you would get better gains. I was wrong. I used to think that if I were to give all my love and attention towards a girl, that it would be reciprocated. That is completely false. I used to think that spending and giving out all your information to one friend, spending so much time with one friend, will benefit you. It doesn't. I used to think that being available all the time for everybody was the good thing because I'm the good guy. Guess what? I was wrong about that too. That's how life is, man. Moderation. Please remember this. Thank you for watching.